Time to get your coronavirus questions answered live.
Dr. Zorba Paster is back with us. If you have a question, the number to call is 270-9933. And let's get right to the phones. We'll start with Kelly in Madison. Hi, Kelly. What's your question?
Hi, how are you doing today?
Fine, thank you. How about yourself?
Well, I'm a little concerned. I got a call from work today requesting my presence back to work, a hotel desk position, and I am concerned about my safety for health. I'm on unemployment. Do I have the right to tell them no?
Well, first of all, I have no idea what you're supposed to do with unemployment. That's definitely not my bailiwick. From a point of view of protection, when you're working, it's a matter of wearing a mask, whether or not there's a shield in front of you, just as you often will see in a number of stores, such as grocery stores, and you have to discuss that with your employer to make sure that you're safe. From an unemployment point of view, you've got to figure that out if you can get a hold of people on unemployment. Your employer may know that, but certainly the state should know that. I am not the person to ask for that.
Okay, but you can work safely, but yeah, it's a personal decision. Let's go to Reed in Mount Horeb. Reed, what's your question?
Hi. I got a question concerning the statistics that are being put out. I did some simple math in my head, and the confirmed number of cases in the U.S. makes up about 32% of worldwide, and the deaths make up 28%. I'm wondering, why are we so high compared to the rest of the world?
Well, that is a really good question. First of all, number one, we're a big country, 315 million people, about that number. So we're a big country. And then we didn't start up soon enough. We started up really late. The government did not come in and take decisive action until basically the epidemic was starting. If you remember correctly, it was just a few people on a boat. Well, in fact, there weren't just a few people on a boat. The epidemic was starting in Washington State and in New York State. So the answer is right now, we have a huge number of people. We have a lot of the deaths in the world from COVID. But you've got to remember, in places like India, when there are deaths, they're really not necessarily recorded to the same way that as we are. So ultimately, we'll know a year from now really how bad things are. But the answer is, we're pretty bad. We're still getting too many people dying from COVID. It's a big problem, and it's a problem that may even get worse in the fall. We don't really know.
Okay, and just to know, we have a story on our News 3 now at 6 o'clock about the unemployment, and if you're being called back to work, what you have to do. So we'll have a story on News 3 now at 6.
Regarding the previous question. Okay, let's go to Joyce from DeForest. Hi, Joyce. What's your question?
My question isn't about the virus. It's about shingles. I want to know if you can get shingles more than once, and if you have it and it doesn't have a rash.
Well, first of all, you can't get shingles more than once, which is why I recommend if you get shingles, you get the Shingrix anti-shingles shot, because that will help boost your immunity. Because some people do get it every few years. Some people do not, because as soon as you get that chickenpox virus that's sort of starting to flare up in the ganglion in your body, it usually is a result of the fact that you have a reduced immunity. So that's really a very important thing to do. Very important to get that shot.
All right, let's go to Ellen in Jefferson. Hi, Ellen. What's your question?
My question is, my fiancé is going to open up his barber shop, and does he need to wear masks, and do the customers need to wear masks?
Well, that's a very good question. And the answer is, how do you open up a barbershop and still stay 6 feet from someone? What if they still have COVID on them? So the reality is, even though he's going to open up his barbershop, he's going to wear a mask. They're going to wear a mask. The reality is that does not protect you from getting COVID from that person. And among other things, it's because the masks are not approved like a medical mask is. So if the person has COVID and they're breathing in and out of their mask and the air comes out the side of the mask and the upper part of the mask, they're breathing COVID germs. So there's no absolute assurance when they actually engage, when your fiance engages in the barbershop behavior, that he is going to be safe. Now, do masks offer some protection? They really protect other people from getting it, but if you're closer than 6 feet, the answer is you can still catch it.
All right, let's go to Brent from Madison. Hi, Brent. What's your question?
Hello, doctor. My question is, I just recently went to the Alliant Energy Center, and I was tested for COVID, and I just got a phone call from the health department, which was good news. It was negative. I didn't really have any symptoms, but I wanted to do it. Is that 100%?
Not at all. It's not 100% at the least. And a negative
Okay.
test on a COVID doesn't mean that you didn't have COVID. I can't give you chapter and verse exactly how accurate it is because it depends on what they're using. But on the whole, the COVID tests are only about maybe 60 to 75% accurate in terms of knowing you have COVID. So it may say you didn't have COVID, and depending on the test, you might have there's a 25 to 30% chance you may actually have had COVID. There are a lot of issues involved with it. The testing is far from perfect. Far from perfect.
And that's part of the problem with the numbers in the U.S., the testing.
You bet.
All right, we're out of time. Thank you all for calling in. Zorba, thank you. Great
Thanks
to
for
see
your
you.
time again, Zorba. Great to see you.
Great to see you guys.
We'll have a final check of your forecast coming up.